The views and opinions expressed on Speaking My Mind are solely those of the host and are intended for commentary and discussion purposes. This content is not presented as fact, but as personal perspective. This commentary is protected by the First Amendment.
My name is LV, and I'm speaking my mind. Well, folks, I've watched Donald Trump's latest appearance on NBC's Meet the Press with Kristen Welker. And if you missed it, here's the short version. The moment the conversation moved from slogans to receipts, the interview went off the rails. Now, Donald Trump has built a political brand around saying elections are rigged, the media is crooked, and everybody's against him. That's not new. We've been hearing that tune for years. What was different this time is that Kristen Welker kept asking the same simple question. Where is the evidence? Not the social media posts, not the rumors, not the feelings, not the theories. Evidence. And according to multiple reports of the interview, when pressed repeatedly for proof regarding election rigging claims, Trump became increasingly frustrated, called the network crooked, called Welker crooked, and eventually ended the interview himself. Now, here's where I think this gets interesting. You can agree with Donald Trump. You can disagree with Donald Trump. But if you're going to make a claim that an election was stolen, or that votes were rigged, or that officials are cheating, eventually somebody is going to ask for documentation. That's not bias. That's journalism. In fact, if a reporter didn't ask for proof, then they're not doing their job. What I saw wasn't a reporter attacking a president. I saw a reporter asking the one question that politicians hate more than any other. Can you prove it? And when that question kept coming, the conversation ended. That's a problem. Because presidents don't go to walk away from accountability just because the questions become uncomfortable. If you're the leader of the free world, uncomfortable questions come with the territory. Now, let's talk about the media angle. Trump once again lumped NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, and everybody else into the crooked media category. But here's the thing. For years, Trump has benefited enormously from media coverage. Every rally, every controversy, every statement, every social media post became headline news. The media didn't create Donald Trump, but they certainly helped amplify him. And yet, every time a reporter challenges him, suddenly the network is dishonest. That argument only works if every question you don't like automatically becomes unfair. And that's not how accountability works. What really should stand out to me was how familiar this pattern has become. When things are going well, Trump is happy to talk. When the discussion moves into specifics, evidence, court records, or documented facts, the conversation often turns into a battle over legitimacy of the question itself. Instead of answering the question becomes the problem. We've seen that movie before. Now, will Trump supporters care? Probably not. Most of them will see this as another example of him fighting the media. Will critics care? Absolutely. They'll point to it as another example of someone making claims he can't substantiate. So nobody changing teams after this interview. But for those of us sitting in the middle trying to figure out what's real and what's political theater, one thing becomes crystal clear. When Kristen Welker asked for evidence, she wasn't asking for an opinion. She was asking for receipts. And if you got the receipts, you show them. If you don't have the receipts, eventually the argument runs out the road. That's what I saw on Meet the Press this week. Not a president being persecuted. Not a journalist being unfair. Just a very simple collusion between a claim and a question. Can you prove it? And judging by how quickly that interview came to an end, that question may have been the most powerful one asked all day. In politics, everybody's got a microphone. But the truth still needs documentation. And when the receipts matter more than the rhetoric, that's when you find out who's really prepared for the interview. My name is LV, and I have spoken my mind.